Joe, you've talked before, just you remember the date that you were released by the Browns and how important that was to you. Knowing that this game, there's so much on the line already going in, does that motivate you more just with your own personal history with the team and knowing you guys are 4-0, they're 4-1? Just what are your feelings going into Sunday?
Just being on both sides of the matchup, being with Cleveland for 7 years, and every time we played against Pittsburgh, that was the biggest game of the year. Every year I was there. And then just being here now, just every game is the next game. And then when we start playing AFC North football, Coach T always emphasizes just how that's important. You have to rule your division to get to the playoffs. So with the Browns being so good now, and the Ravens also, just this division being so good, and just the Browns being the team that I came from, I'm always wanting to play good against the team that you used to play against. I used to play for is a big thing for me. But I'm just really excited about our team, man. We're 4-0. I've never been 4-0 before. It's the next game. It's the AFC game. It's our first division game, and trying to win, have a good division record is the biggest thing getting to the playoffs. So it's a whole lot going on, but I think it's going to be a really, really intense, good football game. Two good teams.
Jeff Hawthorne, 93.7.
Joe, you mentioned that the Browns are better. What really sticks out that's different about this team?
I would say it's just an overall good team. They're good on offense. They run the ball very well. Number one rushing game in the league. Talent on the outside with Odell and Jarvis. And then the tight ends are really, really talented players also. And in their defense, they just make plays. They have they create turnovers, get to the quarterback a lot. Myles Garrett, when I was there with him for a little bit for training camp, and I already knew he was going to be an all-pro type player. He just don't find dudes like that all the time. So, it's just like Coach T said, it's a 5-star matchup, man, with good offense, good defense, and good special teams, and they're coached very well too. So, I think it's going to be a really good challenge.
Aditi Kinkabala, NFL Network.
Joe, Odell did not start the season particularly happy, but obviously they're using him in very creative ways now. Why, when he is used in this manner, what's the challenge with him? And how is Jarvis a very different challenge?
Jarvis, man, he's a really good challenge, I say, because he's more of an inside receiver. He's more of a possession down, more of a third and shorts. He's gritty. He'll get in there and block. He'll run in the middle routes and all that. I would say with Odell, they just try to get the ball in his hands. The more you can get him to touch the ball with screens, with reverses, and then him and Jarvis also can throw the ball too. So just utilizing your playmakers, man, and making sure you get the ball into those dudes' hands that can make plays. The more and more you get it into their hands, the more opportunities they have to make plays. So for us, we always got to know where 13 to 80 know where they are, because they're very, very talented players, and they can throw the ball, they can run the ball, and obviously they can catch the ball.
Brian Batko, Post-Gazette.
Hey, Joe. With the success both teams are having this year, everything that happened last season with you guys splitting, do you feel like this is a rivalry rekindled a little bit? Did it never go away, or do you almost not even really want to use that word now that you're on this side of it?
I think it's a very important game. I think that we both have similar goals. I think that the Browns now, I've been away now for 4 years, but I can just tell they're working hard. They play as a team. Like I said, they have the number one rushing attack. And I just think that the same way with us, man, we're 4-0. We got big men. We had the defense that we had. We just really feel like we have a very good team, and that we haven't played nowhere near to a level that we're capable of on defense. So I just think that it's just going to be a really good matchup, and we'll see how the chips fall.
Dale Lawley, DK.
Joe, you've seen Ben Roethlisberger his entire career. You've lined up opposite him on defense. Have you seen him play better mentally than he's playing right now?
I think he's playing at the top of his game. He's a coach out there on the field. He understands. He's been in so many different situations. He just gets it, and having so much talent around him, young talent of dudes that I really love our team, because we just got a bunch of young dudes that are grinders, dudes that just want to be great, dudes that want to make a name for themselves in the league, and they're not too much talking. They're just workers. So I think with Ben being at the helm, and then we have that veteran offensive line with Pouncey, Villanueva, the Castro. These dudes are legitimate vets, So I think just it all coming together, and Ben, he's playing lights out ball, and he's just out there comfortable, controlled, and just running the offense very, very well.
Chris Adamski, Trib.
Third down percentage is amongst the league. You guys are rated highly in pretty much every other defensive statistic. Is there any thread to that, or how can you fix that if there's something to fix?
That's something we've been working on big time. Coach showed us the tape of how we've been failing on 3rd and 2 to 6 and around 7 to 10 also. We've been watching the tape on that all week. And sometimes it's not just a one person. It's sometimes they want to play. It's sometimes lose the contain, real, or sometimes we get beat. So, it's a couple of things, but it's not nothing dramatic. Everything that we saw on tape that we were getting beat on those third downs was something that was an easy fix. So we look to be locked in and making sure that we're locked in on third down this week.
Alan Saunders, Pittsburgh Sports Now.
Hey, Joe. Baker's thrown fewer interceptions than he has on a per rate basis than at any point in his career. What have you noticed that's different about him this season?
I think honestly, what I'm telling you, that they're never really getting behind the sticks. They're always in third and manageables, second and manageables. Don't really lose on first down. Just all comes with that really good running game. And when Chubb and Hunt, they start running that ball, it's a lot easier with the play actions, getting Baker out of the pocket on the boots. He's really, he throws very, very well, moving out of the pocket. And that's something that when the run game is doing so well, linebackers are biting up, everybody's biting up. So that play action gives you a little bit of time. And they've been working that really well.
All right, guys, this is the last question I have time for because I want to get you guys James before meetings. So let's go to Noah Strackbean, Sports Illustrated.
Hey, Joe, sticking with Baker, he's really only had one opportunity to have the game-winning drive or the ball in his hands, late in the game. If it gets down to it, do you see anything this season that gives him a better chance of executing late in the games if need be?
I don't know. I think that he's developing, he's growing. I think he's becoming more comfortable with his receivers, with his tight ends. So I think him being more familiar with those dudes will be able to help him try to get down the field on last minute drives. But I'm hoping that if that happens, we'll be ready for it.
Hey Vince, I've seen Bud now has his own show with the Steelers website. Wondering, how have you gotten to know Bud's personality and what kind and what he brings to the locker room aside from what he can obviously do on the field?
Bud is a football-loving guy. He's a very caring individual. You know what I mean? So he loves his teammates. He's a great teammate. He's a great friend. We spend a lot of time together off the field as well. I think he's a great guy. I'm excited to be on the show whenever he invites me.
All right, Mike Prizzuta, DVE.
Hey, Vince, Mayfield's not the first guy you guys have played that likes to get outside the pocket and make plays off of bootleg and play action bootleg, things like that. What's the critical element of trying to be able to contain those type of guys and still be able to rush?
You just can't let them escape. You know what I mean? I think it's really just an understanding from the overall scheme and how the defense works and understanding that everybody have a responsibility. You know what I mean? It's similarly to the responsibility our corners have in covering their great wide receivers. Our rush has a responsibility to keep the mobile quarterback inside of the pocket. So, rush and coverage works together. It's going to be great team defense.
All right, there's only a couple of you on here today. So if you want to ask a follow-up, I'm going to kind of leave you open to do that. Does anybody have a question? Okay, Trib.
Vince, your coordinator, Keith Butler, talked about the Philly third down success, and he said they got to coach better. Did you guys sense that there maybe were some situations that you weren't in that were advantageous?
No, not never. I trust my coaches. I believe in them. They work just as hard as us. It's tandem. It goes hand to hand. We got to go out there and no matter what call is called, we have to go out there and we have to make that call work, because when they give us that call, they have confidence in it. And we have to be able to, uplift that confidence by performing it. So, I never really look for coaches to save players, and I never really think that any call can't work.
Teresa Varley, Steelers.com.
Hey, Vince, Coach Tomlin talked this week about this being a 5-star matchup, about it, being in the hut kitchen, how he loves AFC North football. Is that something that gets you really pumped up, AFC North ball, especially when
Nah,
teams are
I'm
playing?
just a fan of football in general, so I'm pretty pumped for any game. I'll find little insignificant reasons to get me motivated for games. It doesn't have to be something as glaring as AFC North football versus a very competent opponent. I just love football. So any opportunity I get to go out there and play, I'm always excited about it.
Brooke Pryor, ESPN.
Vince, you just mentioned those insignificant things that get you excited. What are some of those things? Where do you find that motivation aside from, who you're playing, AFC North football, that kind of thing?
It could be anything. It could be a talented running back. It could be a talented quarterback. It could be a challenge of a weather game. It could be bad weather. It could be extremely hot. Anything that would make football miserable or would make it difficult to succeed. Any type of expectation that I will put on myself or that other people will put on us that they don't think that we can achieve. Any type of challenges, I get up for. So sometimes you have to create those, and then sometimes, they're presented to you. And AFC North 5-star matchups.
Go ahead with your follow-up, Brooke.
Vince, with the AFC North being such a strong division this year, at least through this far of the season, how much does that help you guys just to have this challenge within your own division? And like you said, you're motivated by a lot of things, but does it elevate the team as a whole when you look at the strength of the rest of the division?
To be honest with you, from my perspective, I don't really think we pay attention to it like that. We just know that we got to go out there and whack the next opponent over the head. And I think having a strong conference, when I think about it outside of the building, is a pretty interesting thing because, you're getting the best competition twice a year. So I look forward to that. But I don't think our team is really thinking about it. I think we're just more concerned with handling, 2020 COVID protocols and going out there, remaining healthy and playing great football.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Brett, you're
Yes, sorry, now I'm muted.
Okay, go ahead.
I know last year the Browns game is remembered for the altercation at the end of the game, and it hasn't been talked about a ton this week. Is that something, is it still relevant in your locker room, or are you guys completely past it and just focused on the 2020 matchup?
We're completely past it. You know what I mean? What happened in 2019 was 2019. We have enough problems to deal with this year, and we're not really looking back. We're not looking in the rearview mirror and worry about what happened last year.
All right, I have time for a couple more. Does anybody have a question? Chris Adamski, Trib.
Vince, you guys' rankings defensively is pretty high across the board, except for third down conversion. Is there a common theme to that? Is that just a stat that's coincidence or something, or is there something you can do is that a emphasis to try to improve there?
It's absolutely something that we could do to work on. You know what I mean? We have aspirations to be the best defense in the NFL, but that just comes with cohesion. We got to play better as a unit. But a lot of those things we achieved last year happened towards the end of last year. And this is a very early season. You got to understand we've only played 4 games. There's still a lot of gelling to do. Not saying that we're learning how to play with each other because we're all pretty familiar with each other, but, you just got to keep working. And we'll just iron it out. We'll keep moving forward.